State 4 functions of wholesaler to a retailer. Question B. Explain 5 advantages of small-scale retail business over a large-scale business. What are the 4 functions of a wholesaler to a retailer? You know that a wholesaler is the one that sells, in smaller units to a retailer. That is the job of one of the jobs of what? Of a wholesaler. A wholesaler will buy goods in bulk from the producer and break it into smaller quantities and sell it to a retailer. One of the jobs of what? Of a wholesaler. A wholesaler will buy goods in bulk from the producer and break it into smaller quantities and sell it to a retailer who will now finally sell it to a consumer. So what are the 4 functions? The first function here is breaking bulk. Breaking bulk. What does this mean? The wholesaler will divide the bulky goods into smaller quantities and give it to the retailer. Second thing, provision. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Provision of credit facilities. What does this mean? It means that the wholesaler will allow the retailer to obtain goods and later pay. The third function is storage of goods. Storage of goods. And the fourth function is transportation assistance. So the wholesaler provides, helps distribute what? Goods to the retailer where they need it. So transportation assistance. Now, let's explain. So we have explained 5 advantages of small scale retail business over large scale business. The first one here. So what are the 5 advantages? We take some of them. You can take the 5, take the 5. If not, we take some of them. Then I'll give you assignment to go and look for the others. So we take some of them. We have number 1. We have what are the first one is this. It requires small capital to run. Small capital to run. That's the first thing. It requires what? It requires what? Small capital to run it. So a retail business requires small capital to do what? To run it. Requires, let me correct this. Requires small capital to start. What does this mean? Little one is what that is needed to start this business. Second thing, it is easy to manage, easy management. It is easier to manage and supervise, easy management. The third thing is quick decision making. Quick decision making. What does this mean? Decisions are made faster, easier. Quick decision making. First one we have requires small capital to start. Easy management, quick decision making. And now we have is what we call operation is flexible. Operation is flexible. What does this mean? There can be quick adjustments if there is change in demand. Operation is flexible. Flexible operation. operation is flexible. So you take this 4, you can go, I give you assignment to do the last one. You take this 4. So let's go to the next question. Explain each of the following classes of insurance. So I'll go straight. The first one here, this covers damage or losses to ship or cargo during sea transportation or water transportation, water transport. Accident insurance, this one compensates, insurance compensates or provides financial protection. Insurance compensates for physical injury, disability, and deaths during accidents. Group insurance policy covers a group of people under one contract. That's what it does. Now, fidelity guarantee insurance, what does this do? Look at the word here, fidelity. That talks about integrity, honesty. So what does this do? This one covers losses to employers made by dishonest employees. So employers are insured. Employers are insured when employees are dishonest. All right. So the last one we have consequential loss insurance. This talks about financial insurance against financial loss. Insurance against financial loss during business interruptions after an insured risk. So that's the last one we have. Let's go to the next question. So let's take the number 5 question. Explain 4 functions rendered by a courier firm. The first one, what's the first function here we have? The courier firm actually is a firm that they do what we call delivery of the deliver goods. They deliver goods to where the customer needs it. So what is the first thing? The first function is what we call speedy delivery of parcel. Speedy delivery of parcel or goods. Parcel. What does this mean? It means, moving of packages quickly to where it is needed. The second function is what we call secure transportation. Secure transportation. They move what? They ensure the safe handling of goods and documents to where it is needed. The third function is what we call door-to-door. All right, door-to-door services. Door-to-door services. Of course, you know what this means. They collect the goods and they deliver the item to where it is needed. That's what this means. And the fifth one here, sorry, the fourth one, the fourth answer. All right, this is the first, the second, the third. What's their fourth function? It's what we call tracking services. Tracking services. What does this mean? It means that they ensure that customers can track the progress of their the delivery progress of their of their item that they requested for. Tracking services. So they do that too. Thank you for tracking services. Now, let's explain 6 functions rendered by a telecommunication firm. A telecommunication firm is a firm that involves in what? Exchange of information. That's what they do. So the first thing is that they speed up, which is called facilitate. They facilitate or speed up communication. Facilitates communication. What does this mean? It simply means that they ensure that information is exchanged between people. Information goes from one person to another person. So that's what it means by facilitates communication. Second function they render is what we call internet services. Internet what? Service. What does this mean? They provide what? Internet connectivity. They provide internet connectivity. The next one is what we call data transmission. Data transmission. Data transmission. And this one talks about transfer of digital information, not physical information. Information in digital form. They transfer it. That's another thing they do. I'll take the fourth one. They provide mobile call and SMS services. SMS what? Services. What's the fifth thing they do? Now, the fifth function they render as what we call the first one is facilitate communication. Second one is internet service. They provide internet connectivity, data transmission. The next one they provide is what we call mobile call and SMS services. So they provide these things. I'll just take 4 out of it. I'll take 4. They provide this out of 6. I'm taking 4. They provide this 4. I'm giving an assignment. You can also check for the remaining 2 and add it to it. List 5 media of public relation. The first one is the television. Television media. So we have the radio media. 3, we have the newspaper media or newsletter, newspaper media. The fourth media, we have social media platform like your Facebook, your WhatsApp, Twitter or X, Instagram, LinkedIn, and so on and so forth. Social media platform. Then the fifth one is what we call press conference. Press conferences. Now, let's go to the B part of this question. Enumerate 5 types of after sales services. Now, let's take the 5. What are the 5? The first one is what we call warranty provision. Warranty provision or guarantee. Free installation services. Free installation services. Free installation service. The next one is what we call free maintenance service. Free maintenance. Maintenance service. The next one is what we call repairs. And the last one is called technical, or let me just put, it's called technical support. Technical support. Technical support. So these are the what? 5 types of after sales services. Now let's look at some of the benefits. We'll take some of the benefits of after sales services. Let's take some of the benefits. The first one, some of the benefits, it builds what we call customer loyalty. It builds customer loyalty. Second thing it does is that it increases sales. Increases sales. The third thing it does, the third benefits we have is it enhances brand image. Brand image. What does it do again? Increases repeated purchases. Repeated purchases. And what does it do? It also promotes referrals. Promotes referrals. Mouth-to-mouth referrals. Now let's go to the next. Number 7 question. Distinguish between a broker and a factor. What is a broker? Or who is a broker? A broker is a person that stands as an intermediary between a buyer, all right, and a seller, but does not possess the goods, just stands as an intermediary between the buyer and the seller, but does not possess goods. Now, who is a factor? A factor is an agent that may possess goods and will act on behalf of the owner of a good. Now, state 3 duties of an employer to an employee. What are the 3 duties? Let's take some of them. We'll take the 3 of them. The first duty is what we call payments. It's called payments of wages or salaries. Wages or salaries. Second thing is what we call provision of a conducive working environment. That's the job of an employer. Conducive working environment. What is the third thing? Grants, leave, and welfare benefits. Now let's take 4 duties of an employee. Look at it here, not employer, employee to an employer. What are his 4 duties? I'll just take it. First duty is what we call duty of obedience. Duty of what? Obedience. He must obey every lawful instruction given by the what? Given by duty of obedience to lawful instruction. We can put it that way. To lawful instruction. So an employee must obey the instruction of the employer that is under the law. Lawful instruction. Second duty is what we call duty of good faith. Duty of good faith. This means what? Duty of good faith. This means the employee must be what? Honest. He must be honest to the employer. The third one is what we call duty of care. Duty of care means that the employee must take good care of the properties of the employer. Must take good care. And we'll take another one, the fourth one. We're taking just 4. It's 4 that we're taking 4 duties. The fourth one is what we call, you must be punctual, punctuality. That's what we call duty of, so we call punctuality. Duty. Punctuality and diligence. It must be dutiful at work. It must be responsible and diligence. Punctuality and diligence. Now, so this is it here. We have it here. This is the answer to question C. This is the answer to question B. Alright, I've said the answer to question A. Let's go to the number 8 question. What is turnover in commerce? What is turnover in commerce? Let me write it for you so you can write it down. Turnover simply means the total net sales, total net sales made, total sales made, or let me just put sales, total sales made by a business within, very important too, within a given period, within a given period. So turnover is what? What is turnover? Turnover means the total sales made by a business within a given, within what? A given period. Now let's look at the answer to question B. List and explain 6 factors that determine the turnover of a product. The first factor is what we call price. Price. Now, why price? Lower prices does what? Increases what? Purchase of goods and services. The lower the price, the higher the what? Purchase of that goods. Second factor is what we call quality. Quality. Alright, why? Quality products attract what? Customers to purchase it. The third one is what we call advertising. Advertising. When customers know about the products, it will boost their what? Their demand for the products. When customers have knowledge about the product, it will boost their demand for the product. Another factor is what we call consumer income. Consumer what? Income. The higher the income of the consumer, the higher is what? Ability to what? Purchase that product. The next one is what we call competition. Alright? Strong competition may increase or reduce sale. And the last one is what we call seasonal demand. Seasonal demand. What does this mean? So certain products cannot be bought only during a certain period or certain season. So certain products are bought during a certain season. For instance, raincoats are bought more during what? Rainy season. During rainy season. So seasonal demand. Let's now go to question 9. State 4 reasons people still engage in hawking. Hawking means when people carry products on their head and they are hawking it around the streets, alright, within a society, within a locality or a community or a vicinity, so that customers can know about the product and purchase if they are in need of the product. State 4 reasons people still engage in hawking. The first one is what we call it requires what? Little capital to start. Little capital. It requires little capital. Small capital. It requires little capital. Number 2, high unemployment. High what? Unemployment. Unemployment. High unemployment. The third reason is what we call quick cash return. They make money sharp. They make money sharp. Quick sharp return. They make money fast. Quick cash returns. Quick cash returns. And the last one is what we call easy entry. Easy entry into the business, because they don't need to register the business, so they can start sharply. Does not require business registration. Now, let's explain 4 factors of production. What are the 4 factors of production? We have the first one we call land. Now, what is land? Land is natural resources. Natural resources required for production of goods and services. For production of what? Production of goods and services. Now, e.g., what e.g. example of land? Of course, we need soil, we have forests, we have water. Let's talk about water. We have water. And what is the, alright, who can tell me what is the profit? Alright, what do we get from land? What is the return on land? It's called rent. Rent. Now, we have what we call, the next one we have what we call capital. Capital is what? Man-made assets. Man-made assets. Man-made assets. Man-made, sorry. Man-made assets. Man-made assets required to produce goods and services. And services such as what? Machinery, tools, money. What's the next one? So this is the second. We have the third one here. It's called labor. Labor talks about what? Physical, human effort, human efforts, physical what? Mental. Physical and mental. Human effort, physical and mental. That is needed for the production of goods and services. And the last one is what we call entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. Who is an entrepreneur? It's a person that does what? That gathers all other factors of production and engages all other factors of production for what? For profit making. But he's the one that also bear what? Bear the financial risk. He bears the financial risk. Now we go to number, let's go to number 10. Go to number 10. Explain. We have question A. State 5 features each of the following business units. What they are saying here is that state 5 features for these 2 business units. We have cooperative society, we have mail order business. Let's look at some of them. We'll take some of them. Cooperative society. The first thing for cooperative society is what we call, so under this, all right, let me just state the features for this. We have what we call voluntary membership. Because it's a cooperative society, so it's a voluntary association. Voluntary membership is required, is one of the features. I'll just take some of it. I'll give you an assignment to go and get the others. So we take voluntary membership. We have what we call, the second one is what we call democratic control. Democratic control. The third one, the third feature is called, the third feature is called shared profits. Shared profits. Shared profits. What this means that members share the surplus. If there's surplus, they share it among themselves. Alright. The fourth one we have here is what we call limited capital, limited interest, limited interests in capital, limited interests on capital, limited interest on capital. All right, I was able to take everything. So I also, let me just take the last one. The last one is also what we call mutual assistance. Mutual assistance. Mutual assistance. They work together. Mutual assistance. Now, so that is for cooperative society. Let's now take for mail order. Let's take some of the features for mail order. Mail order business. All right, we have some features. One of the features is what we call no physical shop. No physical shop. Whatever you want to buy, you buy it online. You buy it, make your request. You don't have a physical shop. You only have a warehouse where they go and they pick from the warehouse and go and deliver it to where it is needed. No physical shop. That's one of the features. Another feature is what we call online adverts. Online adverts. Adverts is done online. Another thing we have is called use of catalogs. They use catalogs. Use of catalogs. Use of catalogs. Then we have no physical shop, online adverts, use of catalog. We have another thing, use of catalogs. We also have orders is only remote. Orders are done remotely. So we take this form. Now, the last question, 10B. Explain 5 ways by which partnership could be brought to an end. What are the 5 ways that will cause a partnership business to come to an end? What are the 5 ways? Let's look at the 5 ways. All right. Here, the first way is what we call expiration. Expiration of agreements. What this means is that every partnership business has a duration. All right. So if the duration of that business is just for 2 years, after the 2 years, the partnership business comes to an end because the partners in that business have already agreed that this business is only for 2 years, or for 6 months, or for 3 months, or for 1 year. All right. The second thing is what we call mutual agreements. Mutual agreements. The partners can decide that they don't want to continue the business, maybe due to they are not making profits. They may not be making profits. If they are not seeing profits from the business, they can decide to come agree mutually to bring the business to an end. So mutual agreement between partners can cause a business to come to an end, the partnership business to come to an end. Now, another is what we call debt of partner. Debt of partner. The debt of a partner can bring a partnership business to an end. The debt of a partner can bring the partnership business to an end. Another thing we look at is what we call bankruptcy. Bankruptcy, where if one of the partners go bankrupt, that is, he loses all his money. Maybe he's somewhere, he loses all his money, he can decide that I'm no longer interested. I'm not going to continue this because he doesn't have money to continue to fund the business with his partner. So if if a partner goes bankrupt, that can lead to the end of a partnership business. And the last thing is what we call it court order. Court order. What this is that a court, that is a court, talking about a legal institution, can decide to put an end to a partnership business if one of the partners engage in a fraudulent act or there's a dispute between the two partners. The court can bring the partnership business to an end. All right, I believe you have learned so much today. All right, so please go to the comment section, write the things you have learned and how well you enjoyed today's class. I would like to see your comments, all right, because I'm going to check your comments. All right, so I believe you are equipped to a certain level for your forthcoming WAEC, in commerce. Do have a nice day. But before we go, do not forget to go to the like button and click like today's class. All right, go to the share button and also click the share button and share to your friends. And if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, you are free to do what? Subscribe to our channel and enjoy more of our classes and more of our videos. See you in our next class. Do have a great day. Bye.
Hi, I'm sure you enjoyed the video you just watched. To see more content as that, prepare you for your upcoming exam, make sure to smash the subscribe button and turn on notification. Also, remember that you can use the comment section to send us your questions or your inquiries, and we are happy to take them. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.